Hello. In this clip from our Justia webinar, Google Advertising, PPC, and LSAs, Differences, Do's, and Don'ts, Samantha LaRousse answers questions from our audience while sharing her final thoughts on PPC and LSAs. If you want to see more Justia videos on law practice and legal marketing, please subscribe to our channel. Awesome. Thank you, Samantha, for that presentation. We can now move on to audience questions. So Samantha's here with us live. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask her based on today's presentation, please feel free to submit them through that Q&A button in the control panel at the bottom of your screen. It looks like we've already got a few, so we can go ahead and jump right in. All right. Our first question is, if I can only choose one, which do you recommend, PPC or LSAs?
Oh, great question. So it's really going to depend on, a few different things. Generally speaking, with no, background information, no insight of what you do and your firm and your goals and all that kind of stuff. PPC, you have a lot more control over, what you're able to accomplish there. So I generally tend to lean towards doing PPC ads. I like that you can pick your, demographic specific keywords. With the LSAs, you're given this predetermined list from Google of what you're able to target, and you're kind of limited to that. So I do like PPC better if you have to choose between the two. Just make sure if you are, we're going to dive in, we're going to do PPC ads, running them with not enough budget is also a little counterproductive. So if your budget's on the lower end, LSA might be a better fit. But if we're, really going for it and you want to really get something out of your ads, I would say, healthy budget, go with the PPC side of things.
Awesome. Thanks for that additional insight. Our next question is, I already have my PPC and LSA on the same CID or customer ID. What should I do?
Yes. Okay. So unfortunately, there isn't a way to separate the two. So if you already have it set up like that, that's the way that it's set up. But for the sake of separating things, like I talked about, if you have an issue with your PPC and you don't want that to impact your LSA or vice versa, it's pretty simple to copy and paste your PPC campaigns into a new account. So if you want to separate things, what I would recommend doing is pause your PPC that's on the same account as your LSAs, and then go ahead and copy over your PPC campaign into a new account. That it's super quick and easy within the interface. Google makes it really easy for you to do that. And then you don't have to worry about redoing all of your LSA verifications. So, all of the, business verification, your background check, all of that, you don't have to worry about having to redo it. And then the PPC is easy to copy and paste over. So that's the way that I would handle it if you're in that particular situation.
Thanks, Sam. We have time for a couple more questions. Our next one is, you mentioned not overdoing disputing calls. What if all my calls are bad? Do I need to pay for some to keep getting more calls?
Okay. I mean, this great question. It's a little bit tricky, like I said, because you really do need to, use your best judgment. If the calls are like egregiously bad, yes, absolutely. Do the disputes. The beauty of the LSA is that a lot of the times, especially if you get like a spam call or it's from a bot or something like that, Google will actually pick up on that before you even have the chance to do a dispute. So you'll see on the actual lead, it'll say that it's not charged. So you don't have to bother with disputing those. And hopefully that kind of alleviates the need to go really overboard with the disputes. What I meant by that is more like, the call could go either way. It's kind of a gray area, probably won't turn into anything, but you want your money back. That's where you're like, okay, maybe we should, dial it back a little and let that go and have it go towards your responsiveness score, keep the volume of calls coming, because, you get in this position where you start disputing all the calls all the time, and Google is just saying, okay, they're not into this, they're not getting it, we're not going to send more calls their way. And once you get to that place, it's really hard to get out of it. So, you want to keep the volume going as much as possible. So really bad, obviously dispute. Hopefully Google catches most of them, but you got to it's a judgment call at the end of the day.
Done. And then our final question for today is going to be, how does the targeting and audience reach differ from PPC to LSAs?
Okay, so this, I kind of touched on this earlier. The PPC, you get so much more control over all aspects of your targeting. That is where, you can go in and pick, obviously with the LSA, you both can pick the specific locations you want to target, but with PPC, you get specific keywords, you get demographic targeting, you get device targeting, the different networks that your ads are running on. So there's a lot more opportunity there for you to pick and choose the audience that your ads are being shown to. Whereas with the LSAs, like I said, you're stuck, whatever practice area you have opted in for, Google gives you a preset list of sub areas that you can either, opt in or out of, and you're kind of stuck with that. So, my favorite is on personal injury. You're a personal injury lawyer, you're running the LSAs, you're picking through, the list of areas, and one of those is pain and suffering. Who let Google pick pain and suffering to be a practice area that you're, targeting your ads for? I don't know what that means. I don't know how Google would interpret that, any, particular search, and say, oh, this qualifies as pain and suffering, and I'm going to, show the ad here. So, with PPC, you don't have to worry about that as much. LSA, you're kind of putting a little bit more in Google's hands. So that's the main difference between the two.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your additional insight, Sam, and thank you all for your questions. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos on law practice and legal marketing. See you in our next clip.